First item on the agenda is the consent agenda. All items under the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the City Council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member or citizen so requests. First item is item A, approve agenda as submitted. Item B, receive and place on file all notices pertaining to this meeting. Item C, receive and place on file all materials having any bearing on this meeting. Item D, approval of minutes of regular meeting on May 3rd, 2021 as on file in the city clerk's office. Item E, approval of treasurer's report of claims in the amount of $1,196,424.46. Item F, approval of Azor report of claims in the amount of $70,207.76. Item G, approval of special designated license application of BLT Investments LLC, doing business as 402 Sports Bar and Grill for a fundraiser event to be held on June 5th, 2021, from 11 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. at 402 Sports Bar and Grill, 2317 North 6th Street, Suite 1, Beatrice, Nebraska. And finally, item H, resolution number 6722, entering into an engagement letter for professional services between the city and Kettle Hut Real Estate to provide appraisal services for Gage County parcel ID numbers 005-000-576-000 and 005-79000 as recommended by the Board of Public Works. Any item that any council member wants removed from the consent agenda? Anyone from the public? All right, seeing none, Mr. Claybaugh.
I move that the items listed under the consent agenda be approved, accepted, and are ratified as presented.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that all items listed under the consent agenda be approved and accepted and or ratified. Your vote, please. And that is approved, 7-0. Next is a public hearing on the acquisition of real property from Leonard C. Gowan and Maxine I. Gowan, legally described as follows. A part of Lot 17, Block 16, Second Addition to South Beatrice and addition to the City of Beatrice, Gage County, Nebraska. Mr. Templemeyer.
So this property is on South 8th Street, down near Caldwell. The Gowans have two houses on their lots. They live in the south house. The north house is dilapidated and needs to be demolished. And so the proposal before you tonight is for them to deed you the north house and $4,000, and then we would demolish the north house. All of it's located currently in the floodway.
Questions, gentlemen? Anyone from the public? All right. Mr. Claybaugh?
I move that the public hearing be closed at 7:03 p.m.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Bilsbach, that the public hearing be closed at, what'd you say, 7:03 p.m.?
Great.
And your vote, please. And that is approved, 7-0. Next is a public hearing to consider amending Article 4, Table 4-3 of the Beatrice zoning ordinance regarding maximum height of buildings in certain zoning districts.
What this regulation would do is today in a, I believe it's a light industrial zoned area, maximum height of a building is 45 feet. We have a project coming in that their height is 53 feet. And so what we're proposing is amending the city code to allow a height up to 60 feet if they are more than 150 feet away from a residential neighborhood. So about a half a block away from a residential neighborhood, they could get some additional height. Otherwise, they have to fall back to that current rule, which is 45 feet.
Is this by special use, or is this just
by right?
Ordinary?
Just by right.
Well, I don't necessarily have a problem with it, but when you paint it with a broad brush, I know that's really high, but you know, I would have liked to have seen it case by case with a special use, but because I think you're going to run into trouble with that and you have to change it again. But I'm not going to vote against it. So there was a reason that you decided not to do it that way. I mean,
you know, we kicked that one around as trying to do that. Quite honestly, we have a number of those hearings and things like that. Nobody shows up to them.
I know that's really high, but you just, as you're well aware, I mean, like the secondary structures that we have in people's yards that are allowed, and they end up being bigger than the home, and towering above it in the side yard or the backyard, and
This is only limited commercial.
I
So it has to be
know,
light commercial
I
zone area.
but there's people that live in that area as well, so I'm okay. I'm not gonna vote against it. I just wanted to raise my question, that's all.
Any other questions? From the public? All right, Mr. Claybaugh,
I move that the public hearing be closed at 7:05 PM.
Second.
moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that the public hearing be closed at 7:05 PM. Your vote, please. That is approved 7-0. Next is resolution number 6723, executing the contract for donation of real estate and all necessary documents to acquire real estate from Leonard C. Gowan and Maxine I. Gowan.
I move that resolution number 6723 be passed and adopted.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by McLean, that resolution 6723 be passed and adopted. Any further discussion needed, gentlemen? From the audience? And your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Resolution number 6723 has been passed and adopted. Next is resolution number 6724, entering into an interlocal cooperation act agreement between the City of Beatrice, the County of Gage, and Gage Area Growth Enterprises, Engage, whereby city and county will reimburse Engage for certain expenditures made by Engage, authorized by Nebraska Revised Statute 13-315. Mr. Claybaugh?
I move that resolution number 6724 be passed and adopted.
Second.
By Claybaugh, seconded by Billsbach, that resolution 6724 be passed and adopted.
The agreement before you is a 3-year agreement. It's identical to the previous agreement that you had. The only thing changed on were the dates. Roll it forward for another 3 years. It's $150,000, up to $150,000, again, based upon reimbursements. The county approved at their county board meeting last week, and so we brought it before you tonight.
With us is Executive Director Trevor Lee and a new employee.
Heidi McClintock.
Hello, Heidi. Welcome. Any comments?
Just echo what Tobias said, that's so close to the last one, I brought the old one by accident. So the name's changed on the signatory page and the date, and I think Tobias said on that too, it's up to 150, it's reimbursement based. The board sees our finances, an independent accountant does our reconciliation every month, then quarterly Tobias goes through it very closely, so.
Okay, very good. Any questions from the council? Anyone?
You don't have any problem working in that parameter, do you, Trevor?
It makes my job harder sometimes because we're working with multiple budget cycles, but the accountability is important to us too, so it's worth the extra time.
Yeah, I'd probably just echo that. The biggest issue is just working through, the county's budget ends on, June 30th, ours ends September 30th. They had a different calendar, and so just trying to work through some of those sometimes and just making sure you had the right expense in the right month.
Yeah.
I think we've got that figured out over the last cycle of doing this, so.
This is actually the third time we've done this with them in a 3-year.
Yep.
Yeah, and welcome.
Any other questions? Anyone from the audience? All right. Thank you very much. Pleasure meeting you, Heidi. And your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Resolution number 6724 has been passed and adopted. Next is an ordinance amending Article 6, Table 4-3 of the zoning ordinance of the City of Beatrice, ordinance number 94-13, regarding maximum building heights for buildings located in limited commercial districts.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-19, the title thereof be approved, the rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by McLean, that the ordinance be given number 21-19, the title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. A motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. That is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-19 by number the first time. Ordinance number 21-19 by number the second time, and ordinance number 21-19 by number the third and final time.
I move that ordinance number 21-19 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Billsbach, that ordinance number 21-19 be passed and approved.
The only thing I would add is planning and zoning recommended approval.
Any other questions from the audience? And your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-19 has been passed and adopted. Next is an ordinance to close and vacate a portion of Veterans Memorial Drive.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-20. The title thereof be approved, the rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that the ordinance be given number 21-20. The title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. Motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-20 by number the first time, ordinance 21-20 by number the second time, and ordinance number 21-20 by number the third and final time.
I move that ordinance number 21-20 be passed and approved.
Second.
By Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that ordinance 21-20 be passed and approved. Tobias?
Under this proposed ordinance, you would close Veterans Memorial Drive just west of the West Court Street Bridge. There's some concrete that's poured there. At the end of the concrete is essentially where it would close, moving further south. We've had some issues with that stretch over the last several years, obviously due to the flooding. If you've been down there now, it's pretty rutted and sandy, and so we're proposing closing at that area and barricading traffic from moving further south.
Will you still allow the parking along there in case people want to fish and stuff?
Yes, you'll still be able to park along where the concrete's at today, and hopefully if, the river access comes in and you have additional need, you do have some other areas there you could add parking.
Rich?
Well, Ted's gone, but I'm sure he'll validate what I say. Have you talked to the veterans about this yet?
No, I did not reach out to the
At one point in time, years ago, there was major issues with this, closing Memorial Drive down. I don't have an issue with it because it should have been closed years ago, but I don't know, well, there might be some screaming and hollering done after we pass this. Just guys, be ready because you might be hearing from the veterans.
Okay.
You do have Veterans Memorial Park. You do have
Yes.
Veterans Memorial Trail. That's what you named the trail that runs through that area.
Yeah, I understand that, and but like I said, years ago we had major problems with it. I never had a problem with it, but there was many nights that we fought over this, and I'm just saying, might be ready for some phone calls because
That's unfortunate. It seems like it's being used more to test out your four-wheel drive to see if it'll go through the mud.
we said that years ago.
Yeah, there was a couple of different scenarios there. We had talked about closing at this place. Also, there was and I don't know if the road's still there or if it's still platted, but adjacent to that was a road that ran straight south, and we were going to do there was a plan for an avenue of trees. It's like
Okay.
soldiers for trees on alongside, and it never materialized. So, in case you do get that phone call, or several phone calls about that, that might be something that we can move to, at least put, not necessarily in there, but some kind of a walking, with the trees down on both sides. So, and I can't, for the life of me now, I can't remember when I was reading through this earlier, I thought I had the name of that street that we didn't take a plat out, and I can't now.
I can't remember it either, but I know.
Not that it matters, but yeah, we've had some, over the years, we've had the problem that they wanted, that group wanted, they wanted to extend, they wanted to put it back in, all the way in, and that just isn't gonna happen. There's not room for it, when you're not gonna spend the money for that, it's just so.
Well, we couldn't hold the road.
No. So, but there was a plan, there was a essentially Plan B. If we're going to close this, we're going to do this for you. And it was just a simple, go down a few hundred yards, it was a little cul-de-sac, so they could go down and drive down and see it. And there was an avenue, Soldier Row trees on both sides of it and around the cul-de-sac. And I can't tell you what happened to that plan or what the name of the street is, and I apologize for that.
But when that Veterans Park went in, that squelched quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Thank you, gentlemen. Anyone else from the council? Anyone from the audience? All right, your vote, please. That is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-20 has been passed and approved. Next is an ordinance to vacate all of Lot 1, Wilkinson's First Edition, located on a part of the southwest quarter of Section 10, Township 3 North, Range 6 East of the 6th Principal Meridian, City of Beatrice, Gage County, Nebraska.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-21, the title thereof be approved, the rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Kerr, that the ordinance be given number 21-21, the title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. A motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-21 by number the first time. Ordinance number 21-21 by number the second time. And ordinance number 21-21 by number the third and final time.
I move that said ordinance number 21-21 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Kerr, that ordinance number 21-21 be passed and approved.
We got a couple of steps going on tonight. So you see the parcel there in the red, which is on South 13th Street out by the Beatrice Country Club. It is in the city limits today. The gentleman who owns that particular lot is looking to divide it into 2 lots. And so the first step in that is to vacate Lot 1 of Wilkinson's First Edition. And then you come back on the next hearing is to replat it. You'll have lots 1 and 2 of Wilkinson's Second Edition. The plan then is to take the south lot of those 2 and transfer it off to another party, and they will be building a single-family residence.
Questions? Everybody know where it's at? Okay. Anyone from the audience? All right, your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-21 has been passed and approved. Next is an ordinance approving the plat of the Wilkinson Second Edition to the City of Beatrice, Gage County, Nebraska.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-22, the title thereof be approved, the rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that the ordinance be given 21-22, the title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. Again, a motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-22 by number the first time, ordinance 21-22 by number the second time, and ordinance 21-22 by number the third and final time.
I move that ordinance number 21-22 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that ordinance number 21-22 be passed and approved.
The only thing I would add is planning and zoning recommended approval.
Any other questions, gentlemen, from the audience? And your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-22 has been passed and adopted. Next is item E, ordinance to vacate the following described real property. Block 1, Beatrice Schools addition to the City of Beatrice, Gage County, Nebraska. The north 10 feet of Lot 2, together with the east half of adjacent vacated alley, Block 7, Wittenberg's addition to the City of Beatrice, Gage County, Nebraska. And Lot 5 and Lot 6, Block 1, Bratz addition to the City of Beatrice, located on a part of the northwest quarter and on a part of the southwest quarter of Section 35, Township 4 North, Range 6 East of the 6th Principal Meridian, Gage County, Nebraska.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-23, the title thereof be approved, the rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Billsbach, that the ordinance be given number 21-23. The title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. A motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. That is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-23 by number the first time, ordinance 21-23 by number the second time, and ordinance 21-23 by number the third and final time.
I move that said ordinance number 21-23 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Billsbach, that ordinance 21-23 be passed and approved.
Once again, we've got a couple step process here. So what this started with is everybody knows where Lincoln Elementary School is at. South of there, on the west side of the road, you have Travis Allen. Mr. Allen wanted to purchase, I believe it's either 5 or 10 feet from the school. I don't remember exactly how far it is. In order to do that, you have to replat it. He wanted to buy it so he could build a garage in his backyard. While he was going through that process, the lady who lives on the east side of South 20th Street said, hey, is there an opportunity for me to acquire 5 or 10 feet as well from the school? School agreed to that one as well. So that's why you end up having a replat here of 3 different parcels in 3 different subdivisions or additions to the city. So step 1 here is vacating all of those things that you see in red, and then the next step will be replatting them, and once again, planning and zoning recommended approval.
Questions? Ted?
No, as I went through this, I read this wrong. I thought the school was taking that additional ground. I thought, what do they need it for? They're not using all of this. It makes way more sense here. I've been by there hundreds of times, and it just didn't make any sense to me. Thank you.
Anyone else? Audience? Vote, please. That is approved 7-0. Ordinance 21-23 has been passed and approved. Next is item F, ordinance approving the plat of the Lincoln School addition to the city of Beatrice, Gage County, Nebraska.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-24, the title thereof be approved, the rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Motion by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that the ordinance be given number 21-24, the title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. Motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-24 by number the first time, ordinance 21-24 by number the second time, and ordinance 21-24 by number the third and final time.
I move that ordinance number 21-24 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that ordinance 21-24 be passed and approved. Any further discussion needed, gentlemen?
Again, I just note planning and zoning recommended approval.
Okay, anyone from the audience? And your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-24 has been passed and approved. Next is an ordinance to vacate all of Lot 1 and Lot 3, Northgate Crossing, second addition to the city of Beatrice, Gage County, Nebraska.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-25, the title thereof be approved, the rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that the ordinance be given number 21-25, the title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number 3 times tonight. Motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-25 by number the first time, ordinance 21-25 by number the second time, and ordinance 21-25 by number the third and final time.
I move that ordinance number 21-25 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that ordinance number 21-25 be passed and approved. Any
Same
fur-
story, different location. This is up north by the hospital. You see right along the very north side there is Hickory Road. You see Rare Earth Salts in their building. The road that comes south of Hickory Road, just to the east of Rare Earth Salts, is Element Avenue. They're looking to vacate lots 1 and 3, which is everything in the red there. And then the next item coming before you is replatting those parcels there, largely because they have a buyer for the east side of Element Avenue. And so you would see some development happening out there So tonight you have the vacation, and then you have the replatting, and then you also have the subdivision improvement agreement.
Questions?
And planning and zoning recommended approval.
Anyone from the audience? And your vote, please. That is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-25 has been passed and approved. Next is an ordinance approving the plat of the North Gate Crossing, 3rd Edition, to the city of Beatrice, Gage County, Nebraska.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-26, the title thereof be approved, the rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number 3 times tonight.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Billsbach, that the ordinance be given 21-26, the title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. Motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please, and that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-26 by number the first time, ordinance number 21-26 by number the second time, and ordinance number 21-26 by number the third and final time.
I move that ordinance number 21-26 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Billsbach, that ordinance number 21-26 be passed and approved.
The only thing I know is planning and zoning recommended approval.
Any other comments? Questions? Audience? Vote. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-26 has been passed and approved. You got enough of these on here tonight, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Next is item I, ordinance entering into a subdivision improvement agreement to Northgate Crossing, 3rd Edition, between the city and Northgate Investment Company, LLC, for the construction of public improvements in the city of Beatrice.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-27, the title thereof be approved, and the rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Motion by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that the ordinance be given 21-27, the title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. A motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-27 by number the first time, ordinance number 21-27 by number the second time, and ordinance number 21-27 by number the third and final time.
I move that ordinance number 21-27 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Morgan, that ordinance number 21-27 be passed and approved.
So at times when you have a new division coming in or a sale of some property, something like that, that's going to require some utility extensions, we sign a utility or a subdivision improvement agreement. In there, we lay out basically which party's responsible for which improvements and make sure that they have the sufficient funding to make those improvements. In this case, the developer is responsible for all the improvements being made. They will secure a line of credit or letter of credit with a bank, submit that to the city so we have it on file in the event that they're unable to fulfill their obligations. They will hire the city's water department to install the water main and pay us accordingly. They will install their own contractor to install the stormwater and the street. Sanitary sewer is already out there, and they're doing kind of a joint project with the electric department between buying different equipment and who's actually installing things, but they'll pay for anything that the electric department has to do out there. Ultimately, they have 30 months to get all of the improvements in before the end of this agreement.
Rich?
Will there be any TIF funding involved with this at all?
No.
Anyone else? Audience?
Hey, do you guys ever disagree?
We do.
I just wondered. Do you guys ever argue?
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
I'm there, so am I.
Yes.
And your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-27 has been passed and approved. Next is an ordinance to convey real estate owned by the city, Gage County, parcel number ID 0093480000 to the PEO home.
I move that said ordinance be given number 21-28, the title thereof be approved, and rules be suspended, and said ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by McLean, that the ordinance be given number 21-28, the title thereof approved, the rules suspended, and the ordinance be read by number only 3 times tonight. Again, a motion to suspend the rules is not debatable. Your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-28 by number the first time, ordinance number 21-28 by number the second time, and ordinance number 21-28 by number the third and final time.
I move that ordinance number 21-28 be passed and approved.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by McLean, that ordinance number 21-28 be passed and approved.
So this parcel of property is located essentially catty corner from where you're sitting right now, northwest corner of 5th and High Street. It was the old YWCA, for those who've been around for a little while. This property became dilapidated, actually had a fire in it. The city then demolished the building, and were able to secure title to the property through some legal action. Through that process, the PEO home has contacted us and made an offer to purchase it for $13,000, and they'll pay for 1/2 of the back taxes that are outstanding. They want to expand, I believe it'll be a parking lot ultimately for their employees, but they want it for their own expansion of their business.
Questions? Anyone from the audience? All right, your vote, please. And that is approved 7-0. Ordinance number 21-28 has been passed and adopted. Next is a resolution number 6725, executing the contract for sale of real estate and all necessary documents to the PEO home.
I move that resolution number 6725 be passed and adopted.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Billsbach, that resolution number 6725 be passed and adopted. Any further discussion needed, gentlemen? Audience? And your vote, please. That is approved 7-0. Resolution 6725 has been passed and adopted. Next is a public forum. Purpose of the public forum is for the presentation of an item by the general public to the City Council for consideration at a later date. No discussion or action will be taken by the City Council at this time. Is there anyone here for the public forum? Todd? Todd, if you, just for the record, name and address, please.
Todd Lineweber, 4306 West Locust Road. Got a few items here to address the council on this evening regarding the operation of Mars. When Mars was purchased and took over providing regular, reliable collection of garbage to the citizens of Beatrice, rural customers in southeast Nebraska from sanitary garbage, were there changes in the contract service provided? Or is the contract the same as the previous contract the city held with sanitary garbage? And can a person obtain a copy of those contracted services that Mars is providing today? Also, is Mars the sole provider of curbside pickup of the garbage collection in Beatrice? Or does their contract allow for competition from others that offer the same of that nature and services? In regards to Mars, is the operating as a city municipality owned local government company? And if so, is Mars held to the same DOT, OSHA, and federal rules and regulations for safety and operation as an owner-operator of a privately owned business of the same nature? In closing, I will thank you for your time this evening and look forward to a future conversation and response.
Thanks, Todd. Appreciate it. Anyone else? Chris?
First time ever being in front of all you guys, but
Give me your name and address, Chris.
it's Christopher Bell, 7779 East US Highway 136, Beatrice, Nebraska, 68310.
Thanks.
I'd like to know why I was banded from the landfill over a picture that I take, and I take more than one picture at the landfill all the time. It was brought to Facebook. I don't know if you guys watch the Beatrice Neighborhood Watch Forum, something like that. I was told that I shared this picture, and if you want me to show you, I can show you the picture. It's just a picture of my truck and the overload box that my customer did. The reason why I take pictures of my loads is because of the city charges $5 a yard per box in town. That's construction debris, with like carpet and stuff like that. I go back to my customer and tell them, hey, this box was 4 feet above sides. I'm trying to make sure that my customers provide by the city rules. 20 yards is 20 yards, not 5 feet above sides trying to shove it into a 20-yarder. You see, and now I was banded from the landfill. I've called you, Mr. Tobias. I've called Stan today to try to find out why I'm not allowed to do business. Do you have a reason why I'm not allowed to do business with the Boswell?
Chris, this is a public forum. In a public forum, we cannot discuss these items because it's not an agenda item.
Okay.
Okay.
How do I, I'm sorry, that's the first time I've ever had to, I'm just trying to run my business, trying to keep Beatrice.
Suggestion is call city administration.
I did call them 15 times today. And I have not received any phone call yet. I was just wondering, you guys have been
Again,
given.
we can't go into detail.
Okay,
because
you
it's
guys have
public.
been given my phone number to clean up Mars's mess. And I've been doing that with my roll-off boxes. I clean up the stuff along the toters. I can't run my business and try to, I could need a place to dump the garbage. So if you guys want to talk to me, find out why, I mean, I'd be glad to open ears, because I'm just trying to do what my grandpa did, just clean up garbage. So,
Okay, Chris, thanks.
yep.
Anyone else? Anyone else? You're not going to argue with us, are you?
No, I'm not gonna argue. I'm gonna keep it down to 3 minutes. My name's Pat Barber. I live at 1015 North Fifth Street, and I'd like to get on the agenda to talk about scooter safety and regulations in Beatrice, because there's a problem. I wanted to show you my scooter real quick. I mostly ride at nighttime. I don't like riding in the daytime with the traffic. So I'm out late night, I go to the pop machine, get me a pop. And basically when I'm riding in the daytime now, I've got a strobe on so people can see me coming, because I've actually had somebody come right at me. So now I'm wearing bright colors in the daytime and I got a strobe on. Then at night, if I could just turn this light off for a second. Nighttime, I'm running like that. It's got a brake light. It's got a front disc brake, a back disc brake, and it's got a front electronic brake. And when I'm turning, usually I will try to signal. Like I said, I try to stay out of traffic. I've had the scooter for 100 days and I haven't been on the ground once. So I'm doing something right. I'm taking my time, but I see a lot of stupid stuff going on with them everywhere. And I think that we better get some rules in place or people are gonna get hurt. One example, I got a girl going down Fifth Street on a skateboard, and she's going 13 miles an hour. She's got a control in her hand. She's got no helmet on. Somebody pulls out in front of her, she brakes, and she goes flying like Superman and cracks her head up. So I think something needs to be done, and I'd like to get on the agenda.
Okay. Got to turn the lights back on before you get on the agenda.
I'll do that. I was going to scoot out, but I thought I better not do that, because if I wreck, then I'm so I try not to do nothing stupid. I don't let nobody touch my scooter. I got everybody, hey, let me ride your scooter. I'm like, no way. Because you wreck it, because there's a stat that's not very good. 40% of all scooter riders that first ride, they wreck, 40%, and that's a lot. So I'm here to hopefully, we can get some rules, get some helmets on people, and keep people from getting hurt like they are in Lincoln.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks. Now scoot home.
Anyone else? All right. Next is item 7, discussion and reports, city administrators report. Tobias?
A couple of things we just want to kind of bring to everybody's attention. First is the bridge rails. If you have not driven by the West Court Street Bridge and seen the bridge rails, please do so. I think they look quite nice. Also, to answer the question, the gray bridge rail that is left on the south side to the west is not going to remain. It is also coming off. They have to tear out the sidewalk there, re-pour the sidewalk so they can anchor the new railing in as well. That's a question we are getting, but no, it's coming out as well. I think you'll see that project move forward yet this week to get that cleaned up. Scott Street, they've closed that part of that street down. Contractor's been in, started working, things were going well until somebody decided to drive around our barricades today. Barricades are there to keep people out. It's a good thing to do. It didn't end well for anybody. And fire station, moving along, they started pouring the apparatus bay. And so that's progressing. They do have rooms up already that have drywall and paint up inside. And so it is, you start to, as you walk through it now, you can start to get a feel for what the rooms will be and how the layout of the building will be. So it's moving along quite well.
Questions?
Are we on schedule for the fire hall?
Yes, they're still on schedule. Things are still progressing well. I think they've picked up quite a bit of time here in the last month or so from their subs. And so they're out there working hard and doing a good job.
Tobias? Or Tobias? Ted?
I've got a few questions here. In your report on Dempster's, and I know we haven't spent, there's a huge amount of money there, large amount of money, and we've spent just a little bit. But when you were referencing that, you're just referencing the lots that we've purchased, correct?
I don't believe so, as far as what we've paid.
No. The question I have is, I have no idea what, and I tried to find it. I don't know what NDEE is.
Nebraska Department of Energy and Environment and Energy. It's now what was NDEQ.
Yeah.
I Googled it, I couldn't find it. And I went to the state, I still couldn't find it. And then I thought, for the 2 lots that we had purchased, I didn't know what they would have, the state would have any reference to. So what are they assisting on for the pieces that we purchased?
Nothing on the pieces that we purchased at this point. We have discovered some additional items in the other parcels there. And so we're working with both NDEE and the EPA on how best to address those issues before we move forward. So in the meantime, we've kind of held off doing anything until we get those things.
So it's essentially the state equivalent of the EPA.
Right. Used to be NDEQ.
All right. As I'm reading through the expenditures, you get, I think it's on page 10, maybe you're gonna know right away, but as I'm reading through them, I'm thinking, okay, everything's pretty much within the parameters of where what we've spent. You're in about anywhere from the 48% to 62%. And then I get down to page, I think it was page 10, it says capital outlays, and you've spent 211% of your budgeted items.
Budgeted item for that amount was $1,000. We spent $2,200. Generally, those are donations.
Okay.
That's generally what those come in at.
I couldn't figure out where that was tethered to. I had a couple other questions, but I'm going to leave it. I'll talk to you in private about it.
Fair enough.
Any other questions of the city administrator's report? Okay, seeing none, our next regular scheduled meeting is going to be June 7th in these chambers at 7 o'clock. And we will have a work session on May 24th at 7 o'clock. I know Mr. Morgan is going to be gone, and I think Mr. Bilsbach will be gone. We do have a couple of agenda items and may have more. With that, Mr. Claybaugh?
I move that the meeting be adjourned at 7:44 p.m.
Second.
Moved by Claybaugh, seconded by Bilsbach, that the meeting be adjourned at 7:44 p.m. And your vote, please, and that's approved 7-0. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks for everybody for attending.